How do you know if someone is creating content that is not okay, and how can you stop people from doing it?
That's a great question, Olivia. I think one of the first things that I look for is if the content is in some way surprising me. So let's say the content is about a friend of mine or a family member that I think is a bit odd or not what I know to be true, then that would give me a bit of a red flag that maybe something wasn't quite right about it. Also, I think when content can be really dramatic or extreme, that's another red flag for me in terms of really what is that drama, what is that extreme? And those are kind of some of the hints for me to then check it out in terms of, is this true? Is this real? The other thing that I've learned to do more of is trust my gut. So if content makes me feel a bit uncomfortable or like too surprised, then just learn to trust that intuition that maybe it just needs a bit of checking out under the hood. And Olivia, did you then say what can you do about it? Was that the next part of your question?
Yeah.
So I think it is really, really important when we are worried that content's not true. Doesn't matter what type of content, can be a little bit of content about someone we know or a big bit of content about something that's clearly designed to make people react a particular way. We have to report it, because the more we can be kind of public detectives and report misleading or false content, the better the internet's going to be and the cleaner it will be. So whether that's reporting it formally to the school or to the E-Safety Commission or even to a friend or a parent or a trusted adult, tell somebody, because we've got to clean it up.
Yeah, thank you. We are encouraged to question what we see and read online. Can we ask what is the hardest question you've ever been asked?
Maybe that one. Right. Okay. Hardest question. Look, I think the hardest, I'll be really honest here, I think the hardest questions are when someone that I really care about asks me a question and I think that my truthful answer might hurt them. So I've got a bit of a thing at the moment. This is like right now. One of my friends is having a birthday party at the weekend and we're going. And another one of my friends sent me a text 2 days ago saying, did you know that this person's having a birthday party? Are you invited? We haven't got an invitation. So it's when I think that my truthful response is likely to hurt. Those are the questions that I find really hard to answer. The question that annoyed me the most and still kind of annoys me a bit is when people said to me when I was growing up or say to me now, you know, what do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? That used to make my head explode because I just think that's the wrong kind of question for me.
Yeah, we can understand that.
Yeah.
How can we encourage kids to report their contacts online with people that they don't know?
I think that one of the things I've learned is it's easier to be brave together. So I think if we're contacted by people that we don't know online and we've just got a sense that maybe there's something not quite right about that contact, then I think we have to show someone and ask someone's advice. And I also think, and this is where I've learned to trust my gut, if when we ask advice we feel that we're a bit fobbed off, oh, that'll be right, don't worry about it, then ask someone else who's a bit smarter, right?
Yeah.
So trust your gut. If there's something that you just doesn't feel right, then ask. And absolutely, we must report content from people who we suspect are there to do harm or to cause risk. Really important.
Yeah. Are people aware of the consequences of doing the wrong thing online, and do we need to educate them better?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it depends on who those people are. I think most people are good people. So when good people do silly or thoughtless things online, then actually, no, I don't always think that they're aware of the consequences. And I think absolutely it's on all of us to help people understand how that makes other people think and feel. So whether that's formally through education and learning resources, whether it's through friendships and having honest conversations and everything in the middle. But unfortunately, I think there are bad actors out there, and absolutely they know what the consequences are. And that's why when we think we've come across them, we need to report and block them and stop them.
Yeah, thank you. What do you think of cyberbullying, and what is your responsibility in taking action about it?
Well, that's another big question, Charlie. So look, cyberbullying is like any other type of bullying. It's not acceptable and it's not okay. So what do we do about it? I think we have to be, and I'm sure you guys have talked about this at school, upstanders, not bystanders, right? Because I think that bad behavior, bullying, feeds off people around it doing nothing. And there was this saying that my family always used to say when I was growing up, which is the standard that you walk past. So what you ignore is actually what you accept. So I think the two things to talk about here. One is if you see that happening, then I think it's on us to not join in and not say it's okay. So don't like it, don't share it, don't share the content in other places, don't show it to friends, don't laugh about it. And actually, if you feel brave enough, call it out. But like I said together, I've found that it's easier to be brave with my mates or with a group of people than grab a group of people who you know feel the same way you do and call it out together. And I also think it's really important to reach out to the person that is being bullied or is feeling that they're being bullied, and just, you don't have to do it publicly, but just privately check in with them and see if they're okay. And I think that does two things. One, you're actually seeing if they're okay, and if they're not, then you can help them. But it also shows them that you've seen what's happening and it's not all right with you.
Yeah. What is your best advice?
Report. Oh, sorry. Go on. I was just going to say, Charlie, the other thing is actually if it continues and it's extreme, then please tell somebody.
Yeah. What is your best advice to someone who thinks they may be being bullied?
Yeah. Look, and I don't know about you, but I'm pretty sure at all times in all our lives we have felt that way. I certainly know I have, growing up at school, and even as an adult, it happens too. I think the best thing is to talk about it. So a friend of yours, or to tell a trusted adult, but actually share that. Like I said, easier to be brave together. So build some people around you who can help you through it, help you report it, and help you deal with it. And the more people, I think, who can, by not joining in, kind of call it out, actually the harder it is then to bully someone. So the best advice is please tell somebody. Please don't suffer in silence. Nothing is too little or too small to share. I mean, one of the things I used to say to my 3 children all the time is a problem shared is a problem halved. It's so true. Please tell somebody.
How do you know and measure the average screen time for young people, and is it getting better or worse?
Oh, Cameron, that's a tough question because I don't think there's an easy answer. I think that the right amount of screen time for any individual in any particular place and time is going to be different depending on their circumstances. So, for example, if you are growing up on a cattle station in the Northern Territory and you're being homeschooled and there's no one around for kilometres and kilometres, then maybe more screen time because you're probably doing all your education and learning online and you're socializing online. Whereas somebody who's perhaps in a metro city area where there are whole heaps of other ways of learning and socializing, it might be different. I think what's important is that we all recognize the signs in ourselves. So ask ourselves, what makes me feel good? What makes me laugh? What makes me feel safe? What makes me happy? And when I feel good and safe and happy, what are the things that I'm likely to be doing? And that helps kind of regulate and make sure that the mix is in there. And also listen to our bodies, right? So if our eyes are dry and itchy, probably need some kind of physical break. If our backs are aching, probably needs a break. And one of the things I noticed with my son when he was sort of about your age, maybe a bit older, is when he would be interrupted when he was online and would then get really narky and snarky and grumpy, that was a signal he'd had too much screen time. So listen to your bodies, but really understand yourselves. What makes you happy? When do you feel well and safe and happy? And make sure that you're getting that mixed in with everything.
What do you think is appropriate amount of time for young people to be online?
Look, I think that is a really good conversation for young people to have with their families. And as I said, to think about everyone's individual circumstances, where they are and what they're doing, and work out what they think is right for them. So it might be 2 hours at a time. It might be 4 hours a day, split into 1 hour blocks. I think it's going to be a bit different for everybody. But I think what makes it healthy is to actually have the conversation with your friends or with your family and kind of work out what your tech plan might be. But if you find that you are not laughing, not feeling happy, your back's aching, your eyes are itchy, you're grumpy when somebody calls you to dinner, you're not doing your homework, you're having trouble sleeping, those are all signals that maybe you haven't got the mix right and you need to go back and have another look at how you mix it up better for you.
Yeah.
So she's got questions for you.
Do you have any questions for us?
Oh my God, I have got so many. All right. So I would love to know one thing from each of you. What is the best thing that you do online? What makes you feel the happiest, the best, the most alive? One thing from each of you.
Hang on, Olivia. Oh, wait till you get a mic. You guys go first.
What did she say? You said that what makes me happy.
Boys, do you want to go first?
Go on, Cameron. You tell me.
Time.
The one best thing that you just love about being online.
What my best thing I like is playing with my friends,
Yeah. And what kind of games do you play?
like multiplayer games,
Yeah.
like we
And-
verse other people.
And do you know everybody that you're playing with?
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's cool. Great. How about you, Charlie?
I enjoy texting with my friends, talking to them, calling them
Yeah.
and
Beautiful.
stuff like that.
Do you have a pretty good sense of humour? Do you guys joke and muck around online through the text and the messages
Yes.
too? That's the fun bit, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great. How about you, Poppy?
I don't personally have many social media apps, but I do use things like Messenger Kids and stuff like that, and I love just the fun communication that you can use on that, and the photos and calls you can make.
It's beautiful, isn't it? I must admit, some of the times I've laughed hardest is when someone sent me a message or a silly photo or something, and you're not expecting it, and you look at it and you just literally roar with laughter because it's just so funny. That's great. How about you, Olivia?
Oh yeah, I agree with Cameron. It is like fun playing with my friends on multiplayer games as well, and like it's just good to interact with my friends outside of school and other places as well.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Being able to contact people, doesn't matter where they are in the world, you can stay in touch. Yeah, it's magic. Okay, so I'm going to kind of ask you the flip side. What would be the one thing that either worries you the most or just makes you feel a bit anxious about your kind of digital experiences? What would be in your worry box?
For me, I think just getting involved with the wrong people online, so like scams or whatever, like oh, probably shouldn't say that. And
Yeah.
so I think just getting caught in like bad situations online and not having anyone to help me would be like one of my most concerns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think I agree with Olivia, but also people who we trust, like maybe turning on us online. Like we might have really like a lot of fun with them and we might know them very well. And then they could say post content that kind of turns people against us or makes everyone laugh at us or something like that.
Yeah, Poppy, I agree. I think that's so hard because it's really hard to know whether they really understand what they've done and the impact that they've had on us, and kind of why they've done it. Yeah, I agree. That's really hard. Yeah. How about you, Charlie?
I agree with Olivia as well. People talking to you that you don't know, they could try and like scare you or threaten you. They could try scamming you and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And in those instances, I think one of the things that's really important to remember is never, ever, ever give out too much personal information, because if they don't have that personal information, then there is a limit to how much they can cause harm. So, you know, it's about for me anyway. And I've been scammed, I've been tricked. You know, you fall for something, you feel like such a numbnut idiot afterwards, feel embarrassed. But yeah, it's keep yourself private online to people that you don't know, I think is really important on that. How about you, Cameron?
Same with Charlie and Olivia, just what mine is like, I usually get in like conservation, like arguments online.
Yeah. There's some really interesting research that's been done that says with humans, when we are physically with somebody or we can see people, a lot of our kind of emotional connection comes from visible cues. So how's somebody looking? What's their facial expression? What are their eyes saying? What's their body saying? And when we're with somebody, we adapt our communication with them because we're instinctively getting these messages in other ways. And obviously, when you're online, you get none of that extra communication. So it's really hard to tell. Yeah. Can I ask you one more question? Am I allowed?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you had a magic wand and you could invent any kind of digital tech thing that would improve your lives or make you happy or whatever, like one piece of digital tech, you had a magic wand, it didn't matter how much it cost or whether you could or couldn't do it, what would you invent? What would you create?
Mm,
And I promise we won't copy your ideas.
I've got one.
Same.
You go.
One of the things that I think that I would like love to create would be like maybe a phone that has like an app where you can like click a button on the app and then an invisible car like spawns and then you can and then you can just like ride in it and like go through traffic and stuff like that. Like
that would be magic. And when you invent it, please can I have the first one off the production line? That sounds good to me, Olivia.
I would like absolutely love a robot that does my chores for me.
Good one. And actually, Poppy, maybe we're not too far away from that stuff happening. You know, that would be pretty cool. Yeah, I got them crossed too, I can tell you. That'd be great. Charlie?
Yeah.
I think I would invent something that feeds my cat, so I don't have to
Okay.
do it every morning.
Clever. Very good. And gave it the right amount at the right time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
And
if
how
I had a magic wand that
Yeah.
could do anything,
Anything.
I would like get like just use it to like mute people when they're being annoying.
Yeah. That's good. Yes, just stop them. I think, Cameron, I reckon that's a real goer. I reckon if you could work out how to do that, everybody on social media around the world would want your mute button. Excellent. Yeah. Well, thank you for answering my questions. We've got a lot to learn from you guys. So, keep thinking, keep telling us. It's been terrific. Have you got any other questions for me?
Oh, no, that's all.
No, that's all.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, it was really
so
lovely
much
to
for
meet
your
you.
time.
You're welcome, Olivia.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It was great to meat you guys. All the best.
You
Great
too.
to meet
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.